See, in the first part of the discussion on Judicial Appointments Commission Bill, what did we discuss? What is the relevance of the topic? Why it is in the news? Then, what is the procedure for appointment of a judge of High Court and Supreme Court as mentioned in the Indian Constitution? How it has underwent a change by the interpretation of the Supreme Court in 1982 first judge case, 1993 second judge case, 1998 third judge case. And then we made a comparison between India and other countries in terms of appointment of judges. And now in the second part we will discuss about what is this Judicial Appointments Commission, what is its composition, how the vacancies are filled, how shortlisting of candidates will be done, what is the criticism of the provisions in the Judicial Appointments Commission Bill, and what are the recommendations of the Parliamentary Standing Committee. So let's begin with the provisions in the Judicial Appointments Commission Bill. So with respect to the provisions of Judicial Appointments Commission Bill, the first topic will be the composition of Judicial Appointments Commission. Who are the persons who are there in the Judicial Appointments Commission? Chief Justice of India, Chief Justice of India, two senior-most judges of Supreme Court, Union Law Minister, and two eminent citizens. These 6 people together form the Judicial Appointments Commission. So in other words, the Judicial Appointments Commission is composed of 3 people from judiciary, 1 from executive, and 2 from civil society. 1 Chief Justice of India, 2 senior-most judges of Supreme Court, that is in total 3 from judiciary. Union Law Minister representing the executive, and 2 eminent citizens representing the civil society. This is the composition of Judicial Appointments Commission. And then these 2 eminent persons are appointed by a selection committee consisting of Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition in the Lok Sabha, and the Chief Justice of Supreme Court. Chief Justice of Supreme Court. This 3-member panel will appoint the 2 eminent persons. 2 eminent persons. And then these 2 eminent persons, they are eligible for only one-time appointment. They are not eligible for reappointment. Their tenure is 3 years. What is the tenure of other people? Chief Justice of India, he will be there. Whoever is Chief Justice, he will be part of Judicial Appointments Commission. Whoever is senior most judges, they will be part of Judicial Appointments Commission. Whoever is Union Law Minister, he will be part of Judicial Appointments Commission. So with respect to the first 4 people, no problem. But with respect to 2 eminent citizens, their tenure is 3 years. They are not eligible for reappointment. Fine. So this is with respect to composition of Judicial Appointments Commission. And the next part is, what are the functions of the commission? Before that, the Judicial Appointments Commission, to assist the Judicial Appointments Commission in its work, there will be one convener to the Judicial Appointments Commission. Who is eligible to be appointed as the convener of Judicial Appointments Commission? In the Ministry of Law and Justice, there will be a Department of Justice. The Secretary to Government of India in the Department of Justice will be the convener to the Judicial Appointments Commission. Fine? So we have seen into the composition of Judicial Appointments Commission. Now let's discuss about the functions of Judicial Appointments Commission. So the functions of Judicial Appointments Commission are 3. First one is giving recommendations for appointing the Chief Justice of India, Judge of Supreme Court, Judge of High Court, and Chief Justice of High Court. All these people, they are appointed on the recommendations of Judicial Appointments Commission. The second function is the Judicial Appointments Commission will give recommendations for transferring a judge of High Court from one High Court to another High Court. The third function of Judicial Appointments Commission is ensuring that people with ability, integrity, and the best legal expertise, they will get appointed as Judge of High Court and Supreme Court. So these are the functions of the Judicial Appointments Commission. And then, see, within 3 months after the Judicial Appointments legislation, Judicial Appointments Commission legislation comes into force, within 3 months, the central government shall refer the vacancies to the Judicial Appointments Commission within 3 months. So the Judicial Appointments Commission bill will become a legislation, and once this comes into implementation, after it comes into implementation, within 3 months, the central government has to refer the vacancies to the Judicial Appointments Commission so as to enable it to give its recommendations. Then, if a vacancy arises, How a vacancy will arise? Two methods. If a person retires or if a person dies or if he resigns. So if a person retires, so 2 months prior to the retirement, all the vacancies which will arise because of the retirement, such vacancies 2 months in advance, they have to be referred to the Judicial Appointments Commission by the central government, so that the Judicial Appointments Commission will initiate the process of appointing the and filling the vacancies. And similarly, if any vacancy arises because of death or resignation, so after death or resignation, within 2 months, that vacancy has to be referred to the Judicial Appointments Commission. And apart from that, while appointing a judge of High Court by the Judicial Appointments Commission, the governor of that state, the chief minister of that state, and the chief justice of High Court of that state, their opinion has to be taken in writing. Fine? This is one thing. And vacancies are reported to the Judicial Appointments Commission. So the convener to the Judicial Appointments Commission, he will receive the recommendations from the state government, central government, and the chief justice of High Court to identify the eligible candidates. The central government will give some names, the state government will give some names, the chief justice of High Court, they will give some names. Out of these names, short listing has to be done. Short listing means identifying one person for one vacancy. How this short listing will be done, it is not mentioned in the bill. It is not defined in the bill. So these are the several provisions relating to the Judicial Appointments Commission bill. What is the composition? What are the functions? How a vacancy will be filled? Within what time? How the shortlisting of candidates will be done. So in these provisions, what is the criticism? What's wrong with the existing provisions? The first criticism is, we said that the Judicial Appointments Commission will contain two eminent persons appointed by a panel consisting of Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha, and Chief Justice of Supreme Court. So what do you mean by eminence? What is the definition of eminence? What does that mean? Their experience in what field? That was not defined in the bill. That is one criticism. The second one is, the central government, the state government, the Chief Justice of High Court, they are alone given the power to recommend the candidates. If you take the United Kingdom and South Africa, every candidate who is eligible, they can file an application for that vacancy. For example, you people are preparing for the UPSC exam. All the people who have a degree and who have completed the age of 21 years, they are eligible to be appointed, they are eligible to take the UPSC exam. Similarly, for a post of Judge of High Court or Supreme Court, what are the eligibility conditions? Citizen of India, or an eminent jurist in the opinion of the President, or who has served as an advocate in the High Court for 10 years, or as a district judge for 10 years. Something like that, there are some eligibilities. So all the people who are eligible, they need to be given an opportunity to file an application. This is what is available in United Kingdom and South Africa. But what we are doing in India, we are restricting the power only to central government, state government, and Chief Justice of High Court. Only these people will suggest their names. Only from that list we have to pick up one name. So here this is not an inclusive approach. Not everybody is allowed to make an application. This is the second criticism. And then let's consider the recommendations of Parliamentary Standing Committee. So what the Parliamentary Standing Committee, chaired by Shantaram Naik, has recommended with respect to the Judicial Appointments Commission bill. The first recommendation is, we have said that in the Judicial Appointments Commission there will be two eminent citizens. The Parliamentary Standing Committee recommended that let there be three eminent citizens, because 3 Chief Justice of India, two senior most judges, 3 on one hand, Union Law Minister and two eminent citizens, 3 on the other hand. If there is a tie, taking decisions will be difficult. There may be a deadlock. So the Parliamentary Standing Committee recommended that instead of two eminent citizens, let there be 3 people and let them represent SC, ST, OBC, minority and women by rotation. If 1 year, if the representation given to SC, the next year ST, the next year OBC, the next year minority, the next year women. This is one thing. And apart from that, the Parliamentary Standing Committee also recommended that please define the eminence. What do you mean by eminence? So in what field they should have the expertise. This is the second recommendation. And apart from that, what did I say? All the people who are eligible, they are not given the opportunity to make an application for the vacancy. For example, an advocate who is practicing in the concerned High Court for the last 10 years is eligible. But the present bill says that all those people, they cannot file an application for the vacancy. So the Parliamentary Standing Committee recommended that please allow the members of bar who are eligible to make an application for the vacancy. So give them an opportunity. That is one thing. And then I told you that see, there will be Judicial Appointments Commission. So the Parliamentary Standing Committee recommended that at the state level, let there be a state level commission consisting of Chief Minister, Leader of Opposition in the Legislative Assembly and the Chief Justice of High Court, so that this state level commission will assist the Judicial Appointments Commission in its work. It will reduce the burden of Judicial Appointments Commission. This is another recommendation made by the Parliamentary Standing Committee. And apart from that, what did I say? Out of total strength of around 800, 275 are still vacant. So the bill says that 2 months in advance, before a vacancy arises, the vacancy has to be referred to the Judicial Appointments Commission by the central government. But the Parliamentary Standing Committee says that as there are so many vacancies, please ensure that the vacancies are filled well in advance, so that there won't be any vacancy. The bill says that before a vacancy arises because of retirement, 2 months prior to the arising of vacancy, that has to be referred to the Judicial Appointments Commission. But the Parliamentary Standing Committee says that to fill the vacancies in time, start this procedure well in advance, so that even before the judge retires, if the next judge is ready, you won't have any vacancies. So the confidence of the citizens in the judiciary, it will be increased, and the efficient working of the judiciary will be ensured. This is one recommendation. And apart from that, out of 100 vacancies in the high courts, 33% of 100 will be filled by the district judges. But like the UPS exam, IAS and IPS people, they are appointed on an All India competitive exam, the civil services exam. But this is not available for the district judges. So the Parliamentary Standing Committee recommended that please create All India Judicial Service. You try to appoint the district judges on an examination, a competitive examination which is held at the national level. If this is done, the people who have got the ability and merit, they will become the judges of district judges. And these district judges, in course of time, they will become High Court judge and Supreme Court judge. So at the entry level, when district judges are appointed, make sure that the best talent gets into the system. Because the present procedure for appointment of a district judge, it is not based on a competitive examination at the national level. The best and the brightest, they are not getting into the system. So as early as possible, try to create All India Judicial Service and recruit the district judges based on a competitive examination at the national level, so that the best people will get into the system, and these people can be elevated to the judge of High Court and Supreme Court subsequently. They can live up to the expectations of the people, and they can ensure that the judiciary functions in an efficient way. So these are the several recommendations made by the Parliamentary Standing Committee.